Welcome to the day 20 of our 30 days AI automation challenge. Today we are going to build something very unique, and it's the job search automation. We are going to build it in such a way that the system automatically research for jobs in wherever we want it to research for, and then filter the ones that are good. And then of course the automation is also going to check our CV, write our cover letter, fill it in our Google Sheet, and then apply for the job directly without we having to do it every day. All right, so this is what we are going to be building today, exactly something exactly like this. So we are going to be using Apify to do the whole of the job, and this is the major thing that we'll be using. So of course we will have our AI agent that will assess our resume, another AI agent that will write our cover letter, and once that's done doing everything, she'll fill it to our Google Sheet and of course apply for the job directly for us if we want. So this is what we are going to be building. So please kindly help me subscribe to the channel and like this video. Now let's go. Now of course we are now n8n. We are going to begin. So we click on add step, and then we are going to add on a schedule because it's something that is going to be doing every day, right? On a schedule, click on it, and then here we're going to configure it. Of course we want to do it every day. Days, leave it on days if you want, and then the days is maybe 1 per day. If you want it 2 per day, you can put it 2 per day, but we want it at 2 per day. And then the trigger hour, we want it at let's say every 10 a.m. in the morning. It should be able to help us apply for jobs. If you want to put it at minutes, why not? You can put it at minutes, but for now we are done, and let's close it from here. So we will now have our on trigger, which is now here. We are going to configure everything. Now the next thing to do is to now add our Apify. Our Apify is where the job search is going to run. Is that okay? So we are going to be using a particular AI that will help us do the whole work, and that AI is called Apify. Apify is not just the only AI that will do the markets, will do the research for us. We have other AIs, but for this video we are going to be doing using Apify. So come and type Apify and click on apify.com. I will also be putting the link in the video description for those of you who want to click directly from there. Okay, once you come here, allow it to load completely, and then you click on get started. So you just register. I'm going to show you how to register. Just register with your email, just simple with your email, and it's going to take you to the interface. So here, let's continue with our Google. If you want to put your email, why not? You put your email, put your password, but most of you that know me, I don't do that. I just click on login with Google, and it's going to use every information I have on my Google account and register for me. So let's click on continue, and it's going to bring us exactly to the interface where we're going to do the job. So let's allow it to load. Please kindly help me subscribe to the channel if this course has been benefiting you. All right, so that's ask you, say welcome to Apify. What's your name? What's your URL? Let me click on continue. It has fetched my name from my Google account, and is bringing us exactly here. So Apify is actually a store where you can have a lot of actors. In fact, I think it has more than a lot of, in fact, I will show you the kind of number of actors that they have. That is, if you want to scrape data from the internet, that's what Apify is used for. So you can scrape data from Instagram, you can scrape data from Google Map, scrape data from Amazon, from LinkedIn, from Facebook. You can scrape data from anywhere. So we want you to scrape jobs from, let's use Indeed for this particular example, but you can scrape it from LinkedIn, any search, even Glassdoors, all the search engines that you can scrape it from there. But let's click on here, and let's type let's type actor here, and let's type Indeed. All right, Indeed. And even under Indeed, we still have different actors under Indeed, but I'll show you the right one to have. You can see Indeed scraper, Indeed job scraper, Indeed, see them, a lot of them here. And if you check here, I think they should show us the number of, there are too many. But you need to also understand that this is a paid platform, but with what we are doing today, you can use the free version. When you sign up new, they give you $5 for free and a space of 8 gig RAM. That's okay. With this 5 gig, you can use up to 1,000. You can use up to 1,000 points. All right, so you can see that we just registered it and it's still new. Now I will show you how they use these points. All right, but let's come here and let's say this is the one I want to use. This is the particular one we'll be using for today. So let's click on it, and let me show you how to configure it and how to link it to your n8n or any other automation platform that you are using. So you can see that it has brought us here. You can see that $5 is using 1,000 job search. Is that okay? So let's scroll down and you can see that it has form, it has JSON. We'll come back to this JSON later. Even this run, all these ones, we'll come back to them later, but let's try to see how we can save this particular one. Let's come back and click on here under the country. Which country do you want to actually search the jobs from? So you can choose United Kingdom, you can choose United States. All right, but for me, I want to leave it at United States, but you can choose United Kingdom, Canada, any country, even Nigeria, even South Africa. You can do that. Is that okay? But let me leave it at United States, and then I come here. What is the query? The query is what kind of jobs do you want? So for us, we could want to change and put it on let's say AI automation, or sometimes I'm a content writer, so I usually look for jobs in that niche. But for today, we want to look for automation, AI automation, because this is what we are currently doing. What is the location? You can decide to put the location, but we don't want to put any location here because the country is here already. Now this maximum rows, all right, just leave it at this. But maximum rows listing, we can't leave it at this, because if you maximum rows listing is how many jobs do we want the software to scrape for us from the internet. All right, so if you put 100, it means that each day you are going to be using 100 units from here. All right, so if you are using it for free, you won't like to scrape out to 100 jobs. You can apply for only 100 jobs, so you can scrape 5, you can scrape 10. Is that okay? So for us, for today, we want to scrape only 5, so that only 5 units will be used from here, so they can even last us in a month. Is that okay? So we have used 5. All these things here, I think you should leave them the way it is and allow the AI to figure out all these things like this. Is that okay? So let's scroll down. You can even come here and you can see the name of it here. Is that okay? So once you have done everything from here, just leave everything the way it is and click on save. Not save and start, save. Is that okay? Click on save, and if you click on save and start, it will start researching for the job for you here. But we don't want it here. We want it to be researched for us and run it at n8n. Is that okay? So we have the result at n8n. All right, so all these things here, we are done for now. We will come back to it, but for now we are done. Now let's go back to our n8n, and now let's add our Apify. So click on the node and then you type Apify. See, let me click on Apify. Now it's showing install because I've used it. Is that okay? But your own, you will see that it will show install. So click on install, allow it to install. All right, so there are other nodes that are actually integrated in all these platforms, so that it needs you to actually install them. Is that okay? So when you click on any one and they ask you to install, please just click on install. It does not take anything. So this one will show you install. Just click on install. It will be on this kind of button. Is that okay? Now under the install, we want you to run as an actor. We want you to run as an actor to be able to run that that one we saved to fetch us jobs. So let's click on run actor, and then of course we can now configure it. So we have run actor here, and then please, you can just how they call log in. Is that okay? If you have not logged in, you can log in. This one here has not actually logged in, because if we click on this here, you can see that there is nothing here for us to choose. Is that okay? Why? Because we have not logged in directly to that Apify that we register. So let's click on here, click on add credential, and you can see it here. All you have to do is click on connect to Apify. All right, so it's coming up, and you have to register or log in with the same email you use in registering for Apify. Take note of that. Is that okay? With the same email that is used in registering for Apify. If you don't register with that same email, it will not actually go. All right, I think I did not choose the right one. Let me click here and choose the right one. All right, so let me click on here. We should be able to find, you can see we have Indeed Jobs. Please ensure that you choose the right one, Indeed Jobs Scraper, the one we saved from there. If you save many of them, you'll see them here. So we just created only one and we choose it. Now here we have Impute JSON. This Impute JSON here, so what I want you to do is, let's come back to our Apify, and under this Indeed that we just created and saved, you see that we have form, we have JSON. I told you that we're going to come back from it to it. Click on JSON and then it will show you the JSON format of whatever we have created. Is that okay? All you have to do is click on copy, and then let's come back to our n8n and then paste it in the center of that curly bracket. Is that okay? In the center of that curly bracket, and then here we are done. All right, so we are done with this, and what we could do is, let's try to run it and see if it should work. It should be able to try. It said could not. I think the reason why is showing this body, because if you click here, you can actually see more information, but there is something I want you to see. Although this information are not needed, but it should be able to show us the status, succeeded or accepted. All right, so, and I think the problem should come from inside here. There's a small v here, and I think that v there is the case. Let me delete everything and then paste the information again. The small v is still coming up, so let me delete it. Let me delete everything is inside here and then put it under expression and then paste it here. All right, so I just delete it from there, put it under expression and then put it here. Let me see, it's still showing the small v, but let me click on execute and see if it will give us the real result that we want, because that small v that is attached there is the issue why it cannot read the information in the JSON. But let's see, let's just wait and see. Let's keep coming out with the result. Let's come out with the result. All right, so it has succeeded. So all you can do is just delete it and still put it under expression and not fixed. Is that okay? So it has shown succeeded. Forget about all this other information here. We don't actually need them. Just focus on if it shows succeeded. And of course, if it gives you this same issue, of course you should delete it and don't allow, put it under expression. Is that okay? So let's close it. Let's close it. It's now working. Is that okay? So it now pulls out our data, but we have not completed all the things. So the next thing to now do is that, so we need another Apify, and that Apify is now to fetch this information for us. Is that okay? So Apify, we type Apify, so we need another Apify that will actually get those information for us. And now instead of running an actor, we already have the run actor. We will now put get our actor for get data set items. Get data set items, click on it, and then we are now going to do the mapping. Ensure that it's under the particular Apify that you are using. Is this one that is connected to that one? Is that okay? So let's scroll down, and under this data set, please scroll down and see where you will see data set ID. Data set ID. Let me scroll down again. We should have data set ID. All right, so we now have default data set ID. Default data set ID. Pick it and then drop it inside the default data set ID, right? So that is that, and please ensure that this one is default data ID, database ID. If you come up here, you see that we have ID here. Please, this is not the one we are using, right? And now we are done. It should be able to get the data for us. Now, first of all, before we even execute this, let me come back to Apify. Let me come back to Apify and see, we already run this particular one here. We already run it and it brought us something. I showed you that it was successful. So let's come back to Apify and even check if it actually runs. So let's come back to run, and we should be able to see that information that was run. All right, so actor succeeded with 5 results in the data set. So we now have the result here. So we now, this second Apify is now to pull out that result that was run, right? So let's click on it. We have filled it. Just leave everything the way it is and let's click on run. It should be able to fetch that data. All right, so it has fetched the data for us, and you can see it here. So page 1, index 1, 0, say title, senior manager, AI automation. You can scroll down, you can fetch up to 5 jobs for us, and you can see them with the URL and everything is here. So this second one as well has fetched us for us and is running. So we now have 5 jobs, and we have also gotten them in our n8n. So let's click on close. And then the next thing we need to do is, since this particular thing here, we are actually testing it, we don't want to apply for 5 jobs at a time, because it will consuming our OpenAI keys and our other things that we are using. So we want to just run only one as a test. Is that okay? But if we want to run the 5, if I was doing it normally, I could even run 5, I could run 10. But since this one is test, we don't want to consume a lot of our OpenAI keys and other keys that we are using. So we want to introduce what we call limit. So we can click on limit. Let me click on limit, and you see this limit here. So we want to limit those we want to limit how the system should run. It should only run for just one article. Is that okay? So let's click on limit 1 to 1 article, and then let's click on execute option. So we want to execute it so that it can run only one. And if we check here, the result is the result should be only one, right? So this is page 1, title, senior manager. Let's scroll down. Company URL, company description. Let's scroll down, and that is all. It's just only one. Is that okay? It's just only one. So it's picking out only one information on that. So if you want it to maximum of 2, you can leave it at, in fact, if you want it at all, there's no need introducing this limit. Is that okay? In fact, if you are running it live, there's no need introducing limit. We are only introducing limit because we want to minimize whatever we are doing, so that our keys will be okay. Is that okay? So if you check what we are building here, you can see that the limit is here. It's just for training purposes. Now the next thing is now to bring in our AI agent that is now going to assess our CV, and then see how you can assess our CV based on the jobs that we have here. Is that okay? So to do that, of course, you know how to add AI agent by now. So let's click on here, OpenAI, not just AI agent, but OpenAI, because we actually want message a model. Is that okay? So that I can receive the message and write. So let's click on message a model, not AI agent, but the OpenAI that is under the agent. Is that okay? So here, of course, use the account you have been using. This is the account that has the credit I bought from the other class, and then we have it here. Leave it on test, leave it here. What is the model? Of course, you should know how to do this by now. So I can use GPT letters, or let me say I use GPT-4, and then click on here. We have test, we have this. Now the prompt, of course, you should understand what prompt is now, which is very, very important in your AI automation. Okay, so this is the system prompt, right? So let's click on it. Let me put it on expression, and then I'll open it. Now I'll now give you, it needs a prompt to work with. You should understand all of these things by now. So let me just come to my ChatGPT, and I already have my prompt here, and this is what I told ChatGPT to generate me the prompt. So you can also use it. I said I'm trying to build an automation where the automation will help me research for jobs, then apply for the jobs, blah blah blah. Just read it so that I will not take your time. Read it and then screenshot it and give it to an AI to give you the prompts, exact prompt that I'm going to use here. But in case I don't put it on the comment section, you should be able to generate it for yourself using this prompt. Is that okay? So I'll come back to my n8n, and then I'll post it here. This is it. So let me scroll up and see what we have here. So let me delete this first one. Of course, I usually delete that because that one is a title, and we don't want the title. So the prompt say you are an intelligent job evaluation and application agent. Your primary responsibility is to assess how well a job listing matches a candidate's CV, skill, experience, education, etc. You act as an experienced HR manager, recruiter. Just see how it's looking. Is that okay? So the prompt is actually to assess our CV, and to ensure that our CV matches exactly with the jobs that are going to be applying for us. Is that okay? Those of you who have been applying for jobs the wrong way, I've been teaching that if you want to apply for jobs, ensure that the CV and your cover letter matches the job description. And that's what we are trying to tell the AI to do here. That's okay. So you should also give the score of that particular this thing. You can see it here. Everything here is okay. And then let me see if it has evaluation, education match 10%. Let me see, you should be able to have the score. Okay, we have it here, everything is here. So with that prompt, you will get exactly what I have here, or I'll see if I can put it in the video description. All right, so this is it, and we now have the prompt here. Everything is okay. Now, apart from this user prompt, this one is not user prompt, please. This is system prompt. Please take note. The first prompt is the system prompt, not the user prompt. Is that okay? Now, the second one is what will now be the user prompt. This system prompt is to tell the AI what is the AI is working with, and then the user prompt is about our CV. Now we are now putting in the information of our CV. The system prompt is working based on the user prompt. So if your user prompt does not contain your CV and everything that the system prompt is supposed to do, it will be confused. So we are trying to say match our CV with the job. Is that okay? So let me click on message and then add a message, a new message, and then here we now leave it at user prompt. This is very important. Now we'll now go to our ChatGPT and get the user prompt. So if I come to my ChatGPT again, where my prompt is, let's see if you open. I don't know why it's delaying like this. Okay, right. So I told the AI, I say I will also be adding a rule that is a prompt that is a user prompt. What the system prompt will actually use. Okay, that's my CV. So I want the user to be in this format. Here is the job list. I told him how everything is supposed to be. Just try to see how you can copy this prompt and generate your own, in case I don't put it in the comment section. Is that okay? So you can see it here, and we have job listings. It now generates me the job listings. Then of course everything here is okay. Candidate profile, it picks my name. Even in the system prompt, I actually said you already have my CV, so use it and create this prompt. So I've been talking with ChatGPT, so it has my CV. But in case your own does not have the CV, you could just tell the AI the position, they're applying for, what your experience and everything. But ChatGPT already knows about me. In fact, you can even tell ChatGPT, you can tell it if it doesn't have the CV, it should let you know. I think I did that. I said, I don't have your complete CV. I only have fragments of previous discussion, and it put those fragments that it knows about me. That's okay. So because I've been creating CV for different things, that's why it say it does not have my complete CV. But from what I've been doing, it adds something. It's a job title, company location, job salary, job description, and then the job requirements and everything. So let's come down and this is candidate's profile name, everything here. Can see it here. Is that okay? See it, everything here. Education, skills, and everything. So all I have to do is copy it. This prompt is very, very important. Is that okay? In order to achieve whatever we want to achieve. So let's come back here, and then let me put it an expression, and then let me open it. I'm putting the expression and then opening this so I can be able to see exactly what I'm doing. So let me paste it. And we need to do some job here. Is that okay? We need to do some job here. So let me scroll up, and under this job title, please remove this. All right, and then delete it, and let's do mapping. So this is the job that we had from the other thing, and you can see that we should have job title. So let's just do the mapping. We should have the job title here. We should have the salary, we have everything. All right, so we have the title here, senior manager AI automation. That's the particular one that is given. So let's put it here. And then the next thing to do is let's remove this company name as well, and then we are going to map the name. So what we are doing here is we want you to apply for as many jobs as possible, and not this particular one. That's why we are doing this mapping. You should understand that by now. So the company name, let's scroll down again. Company name, we have the company name here, which is Dioleti. I think that is the name pronunciation. Where is the location? Let's release the location. And let's come down. You can see we have location, which is city. Is that okay? City. So let's copy it and put it, which is Jersey City. And then let's delete the job type as well. And then if we come down, we should see the job type. The job type is remote. I think I saw it. Okay, it's remote. Of course, you can see. Let's paste it here. What is the salary? Let's remove this. And what is the salary? I think I saw salary down here. All right, so I saw salary test. Let me pick it. This particular salary test, not salary source or this one, salary test. Then what is the job description? Let me pick it, and let me click it, and then the job description is not this one, please, not this one that carry HTML, but this one that carry text. Let's put it there, And all right, so we are okay with that. And what is the job requirement? We don't need this job requirements. Let's just remove it. We don't need it. All right, I think we are okay with this. And then instead of job type, the remote, let's just change it to remote so that the system can understand what we are talking about. Is that okay? Sorry, let me change it to remote. That's the job type. I want to change it to remote. And then here I can say here is the candidates. Here is the candidates information and CV sample. All right, so you can see here, you can see my name. So you can just put your information. You can see full name, Nigeria, leave everything the way it is. And let's scroll down. You can see how it is. LinkedIn, you can put your GTube. I don't have a GTube account, so let me remove this. Then I have a portfolio website. I will also remove this one. And then let's come down. You can see the professional summary. Everything is looking very, very okay like this. So I think I like these prompts. And we are done with the mapping. You should be able to see the result here and ensure that everything here is okay, right? So since we are okay from here, I will now close it because we are done from here. All right, so in the AI agents or the OpenAI now has a system prompt, and it also has our CV details, which is the user information. Is that okay? All right, that's okay. Please, okay, ensure that this simplify output is actually turned on. Please, very important. Ensure that it's turned on. Is that okay? Now we are done, but one more thing is needed. If we try to execute this, it will actually give us the whole information in one block, and that's not what we want at all. We want it a situation where it will be differentiated to, you know, test the status, every other thing. But if we run it like this, it will not actually give us what we want. Let's see the results, and I will show you how it's looking, because we don't actually want it to look the way it will look now until we add something to it to change the result. It's still executing the node, and it should be able to give us an output, right? You should not be able to, you know, delay too much, all right, depending on how this works. So you can see it has written us everything, output, automation, everything is just jam-packed together. Is that okay? Page 1, automation. We want it to differentiate. Let me show you how it will look. If you let's click on add option, and then let's go here and see output formats, and let's click on output format, and here we can select JSON object. Just leave it like this, and let's rerun it again. You need to put that JSON output format for it to be rearranged the right way. Remember, the system, that is the n8n, is understanding information as JSON. So if you don't put that JSON format, it will not classify it the way it's supposed to be. All right, so you can see that now it now has overall score, it now has recommendation, it now has all these things here. Before it did not have all these things here, but here it now has all this information. We are now okay with this, and this is working perfectly. So the next thing to do is let's rename it. You can rename it to say resume, okay, I didn't spell it correctly, resume assessor. That is, it assess our resume. Is that okay? Now let's close it, and you can see that we are now done with this as well. Let me decrease it so you can be able to see. Now if I remove it from here, the next thing to do is, after it has assessed our resume, it should write us a cover letter. Look at what we are trying to achieve. It should be able to write us a cover letter, and we are still going to need another OpenAI. Is that okay? You can use this one. In fact, we don't want to add anyone. We can use this one by double clicking, and then we can just say duplicate. I can just still use this one, bring it here, and then double click on it. Let's double click on it again and set up box. Sorry, before we double click on it, let's connect it, please. All right, let's connect it to here. All right. Now you can click on the node and add, but we don't want. Do you know the reason why? Because you see this system prompt that it has here is with this user prompt that has here is the exact thing that we need somewhere here. So we don't want to be copying and paste. That's why I just duplicate it. So let's click on it, and the first thing I want to do is I want to rename it so that you will not be confused. I will just say cover letter writer. letter writer or something like that. Name it anything you want. So we need to connect it to the open AI that you are using. Of course, you understand that it's important. Leave it at here, leave it at the model, and then the system prompts, we need to also change the system prompts. But before I change the system prompts, all right, let me show you that it has this other one here where we work on this one. Let me click on it, and I will show you what we need to edit, because this one here is supposed to actually remain exactly like this. But of course, let's do the mapping again so that it will give us other information, because we duplicated it. So let's remove this, and let's remove this again. Let us remove this. Let us remove this again. All right, let's remove this. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, let's just remove every other information that we have. Let me click on here, and then the cover letter shouldn't carry the salary. All right, it shouldn't carry the salary. The cover letter should not carry location, but if you want to put the location, why not? But let's do the mapping. So what is the job title? Let's scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. You should be able to see the job title. I don't know why it's like this. Let me open the limits and see it here. All right, so this is the job description. Let's pick the job description test and put it here. All right, so let's scroll down and see title. Let's pick the title and then do the mapping. And then what is that again? Company name. Let's come down. Of course, you should be able to address them by their names. Is that okay? That's how to do things professionally. There was the location. You can pick Jesse and put, but the location is not actually that important. But if you want to put it, why not? Then the remote, I think remote is needed. Is remote needed? Let's just put it, and let's scroll down, and that's in your cover letter. All this information, if you need them in your cover letter, you should put them. I don't even think remote is important, but let's just put it and see. Okay, is remote, and then put it here. Is that okay? So that's the only thing you are changing here. That's okay for this particular prompt. I do not think I need this remote. It's not important to me, honestly. So I'll remove it, and then let me come here and then come it up here. Remember, whatever you are giving to it is what it will happen. So let me see this one. I think I see a red somewhere. If it's not working, everything is working here, please. All right, so we are done with this one. I will now click it. Now let's go back to our system prompt. This particular system prompt will not be what is here. Remember, we duplicated it, so it will not be this one. It's only this second one that is there, and we just change a few things. But for this particular system prompt, we need to change it. So let's click on here, and let's bring in a prompt. Let's go to our ChatGPT again, and I say, based on what you have given to me, I am also adding an OpenAI agent that will help me write that cover letter, write the cover letter. So give me the prompt that I will give to my system message in OpenAI to write me a cover letter. All right, because not giving it gave us this particular thing. So let's copy it. Of course, just if you can't get it on the comment section, use it to drive your own. So let's come here, and then let's delete everything, please, and then we click on paste. Now let's scroll up and change anything you want to change. You can just let me delete it. And so the prompt say you are an expert cover letter writer, career coach, recruiter, channel manager, and ATS optimizers specialist. Your sole responsibility is to blah blah blah. Just look at it. I don't have to be reading it out, but I think everything here is okay. Your mission is to, there's nothing here again. Let's close it, and then you can now see that we are done practically with this, right? All right, so but there's one thing, this particular output format that we use from the CV, we don't actually need it here. Is that okay? So let me delete it. Remember, we duplicated it. That's why all these things are here. If you add it new, you won't see it here. Is that okay? So everything is here, and let me click on execute. It should be able to write me a cover letter based on the information. If we mapped it correctly, it should be able to write us a good cover letter to apply for that job. Is that okay? Let's wait for it. It should be able to, okay, say dear hiring manager at due later. You can see that it's even dear hiring manager at the company. Then I am writing to express my interest in your blah blah blah. You can see everything is now okay. Is that okay? Now let's close it. The next thing to now do is that we want it, after it has written the cover letter and everything, it should be able to feed all the information to our Google Sheet. All right, so you can create a Google Sheet. We have been creating Google Sheet, right? Not this one, please. We have been creating Google Sheet. All right, so you can create a Google Sheet and say job search. All right, see the way I put it. I say it should fetch out the title of the job description, the platform, the link of that job. Is that okay? Very important. The date, and then the rating, the company, the cover letter, the salary. That's not all, please. Let's scroll down. The city, the expire, the remote, the status. Is that okay? All this information, we need the AI to feed our Google Sheet with all this information. Is that okay? So to do that, let's come back to our n8n and let's add a note. Let's click on add a note, and what we could do is let's add sheet, and under the sheet we are going to choose append or update. We have been using it, or append or update row in a sheet. Let's click on it because we want it to work on it row by row. Is that okay? So let's click on it, and here please connect it to the right Google Sheet that you are using. Is that okay? And then under here, leave it the way it is. Under document, select that document, and the document name is job search. If you connect the right thing here, you should be able to see it here. And then what is the sheet? It's already one sheet, and then it should be able to fetch all the information in that sheet. And what we need to do the mapping again and run. This is our final step. So let's see here, under the column to match, what should be the unique identifier? The unique identifier should be the link, because all the jobs, you can have like two jobs in a separate company, in one company, but what will make that job unique is the link of that particular job. Is that okay? So the unique identifier will be the link. So let's go down, and you can see link to match. Job title, let's begin to map it now. So under the link using to match, we want to open our job. It's not under this, please. Let me close it, and it's under the limit, because that particular job that we wrote was under limit, because we use limit to just write only one. So let's open the limit, open the limit, and we should be able to see the link. I see title here. Let me map it, since I already seen it here, but let me look for the link job URL. We should see job URL. Let's come down, let's scroll down, just scroll down to see if you can see all information related to that your job. Is that okay? So let's scroll down. I can see expired, and we have expired here. We have expired here, so let me click on expired and then map it. And then anything you are just seeing, okay, we have this job URL. So let's pick this job URL and then map it somewhere here. It's just to be mapping it. Then what is the job description? Let's come down and see if you have job description. Company description, that's not the job description, please. The job description should be up. Let's come back up, and then this job description, not this one that carry HTML, but the job description text. Let's pick it and then map it. Then what is the platform? The platform was just only one, so we just type Indeed. Is that okay? It was only one, but if you search for multiple platforms, you can map it from here, but we'll just type Indeed. Then what is the date of the job? Let's scroll down. I can see city, so let me just map it, since I'm already seeing it. Let's map it. Sorry, it did not map. Let me click on it and then map it here. Is that okay? All right, so let's scroll down again. We are looking for all this information to map. All right, so let me scroll down. I can see salary as well. We have all of these things in our Google Sheet. Is that okay? That's what we are mapping there. If you don't create this Google Sheet here with all this information, you can't see them. So we have salary. I'll map the salary, and then let's scroll down. I think we have ratings, which is 3.9, so I click on rating and then click it here. I think the rating is very poor, but let me proceed. Let's scroll down. Scroll down again. I think that I saw expired now. Let's scroll down again. There's no information here, but let's go up. Let's scroll down. Okay, remote, I think it's remote. We have remote here, and we have is remote here. So let's map it. And then expired, we have expired here, so let me map this one. Expired is first. And then what is the status? The status should be, I think the status, okay, company name. The status will determine itself. Let's scroll up and look for the name, the cover name, the company name rather. Let me scroll up, company name, job full title, description, let's scroll down. Okay, this is the company name. You can now map it. All right, so under the cover letter will not be under limit, so let me close on it and click on the cover letter where we have it. You see the reason why to rename it is good. So this is the cover letter and this is the text. We'll now click it and paste here. So let's scroll down again and see if there's any. Okay, the date, we have not mapped the date, so we'll see open our job, our limit, to find the job, and then let's see the date that job was posted. Let's see the date that job was posted. Let's scroll down. Salary, ratings, dates published. So this is it. So we can click in it and then fix it inside here. Is that okay? So let's scroll down again and let's see if there's anything. Status, the status, we don't have anything from status here, but I could just do to do. All right, I'll just do to do. Just write anything that is a job that you are about to apply for. That's what I'm putting to do, to apply it for. Just put anything that you want there. That's okay. Don't leave it blank. Like I said, okay, so everything is here. Let's click on search, because if you click on execute step, it should be able to populate our Google Sheet with all this information. So title, one item, and we can see output here. All right, so let's go back to our Google Sheet and see if this works. All right, so it works. So we can see that we now have the link, we have the job description, the ratings, everything is now being here. Search currency, salary, everything is okay here. Is that okay? So you can see that this is how to do it. So let's return back and let's close it. So this is basically how to create, these things. So here, if I click on run, I could just, let's say I could just, detach this, I will just detach. If I want to run it, I can detach this limit here, detach the limits. Let me detach it from here and then bring it here. I will also detach it from here, and it's just for me to connect it direct so that I can be able to run. If I click on run, it should be able to start researching article 1 per day every 10 a.m. just the way I set it, 1 per day every a.m. and not be using limit. We use limit because we wanted it to be to research only one for this practical purpose. Is that okay? So if I click on run, it should be able to go through it and run again, but I don't want to click run. The reason is because I want my keys, my API keys, OpenAI keys, to be still reserved so that I can still be using it to teach you. Is that okay? So but if I want to do it, I will do it, and since this first one worked, it should be able to run from here, and you can see it. So, or if I want to research, like those of you who will be practicing it, you can let me close it and bring it back and then link it back. All right, and then let me see if it connects. Okay, it does not connect, so let me connect it back. All right, so I can click on here and then change it to 2. Is that okay? For those of you who want to practice, click on 2 and then run it. Is that okay? Once you click on 2, you don't even want to run from here. Just click on run. It will automatically produce 2, not 5, to run to and populate everything for you. Is that okay? So that is how to do a job research. And at the end of the day, you should ask yourself, all this thing that the thing has created for us here, where do we want it to be, where do we want to apply for the job? So you can now say, okay, send the information for me from the email from the Google Sheet to my email, or I want to approve it. Can introduce human loop. I taught you how to introduce human loop by bringing in the set or the editing set. You can let me confirm it before you now publish. You can now send, you just troubleshoot it. That's how to run it. So you can introduce the human loop, or you can just put an email direct that will run it directly to send it directly to that person. If you want to send it directly from here, you just add an email, do the mapping, and to send directly to them. And then if you want to introduce the human loop, you can still do it. So this is what we have been able to do today. I just wanted to practice it, see how it works. Give me your takeaways in the comment section. Post the result in your comment section, in your social media channel platforms, and then jubilate. This is what takes people a lot of time, pay money to learn. You are learning it comfortably. So post your result, let people know that you are learning AI automation, so that if they have work, when you are looking for work, they will not see you as a newbie. Okay, thank you so much. I will see you in day 21.